In this video today, I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how I helped a small private school here in the Houston, Texas area add $2.5 million of pipeline value through a 4-month lead generation campaign that I have been helping them out with. So before I get started, my name is Evan Andrews. If you're new here, I own and operate Andrews Media out of Houston, Texas, and I help small to medium-sized service businesses, much like you guys, infuse video content into their lead generation efforts. So what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to jump into the iPad here in just a second, and I've kind of drawn everything out to protect their clients and prospects information. I'm not going to do any screen shares from their back end, but I am going to draw out and show you guys exactly what they were doing versus what we are now doing for them to show you how we've been able to add that $2.5 million in opportunity value into their pipeline. Now, I do want to be clear before we get started. I am not saying in this video that I helped them earn $2.5 million. I have put $2.5 million into their opportunities in the last 4 months. So we're going to jump into the iPad here real quick, and I'm going to show you a little bit of how I went this. So this is how I helped. I helped a small private school here in Houston, Texas. And when I say a small private school, this is a small private school. They don't have a massive footprint. They don't have a huge amount of students inside of the school in comparison to other private schools. But this is how in 4 months we were able to generate them 179 leads and add that $2.5 million, 2.6 almost, into opportunity value inside of their pipeline here. So let's go through a little bit about what I did in this process. So what they were doing before is mostly were relying on referrals. They were relying on people finding them on their website. They would do some boosted Instagram posts to help generate leads. They would do a lot of things during their summer activities, different things like that. But it was very inconsistent in what they were doing from a lead generation effort. And in the back end, there wasn't a true consistent automated follow-up to their processes to guide and move their prospects through the funnel as they should. So what did I come in and what did I help change? So the first thing that we did is we created consistent monthly video ads for their business. We maximized using Meta, Facebook, and Instagram to be able to kind of target these parents of the demos in the area where their school services. And then instead of boosting posts, we actually ran real lead generation ads. Okay, so we ran real lead generation ads instead of just boosting posts. We set up some automation. Like I mentioned before, we set up some automation for notifying them when they got leads, but also notifying the prospects that we knew that they were checking them out, and we wanted to move them through that process without having to pick up the phone and do it manually every single time. Now, I will say there's one caveat to that. We don't solely rely on the automation, but the automation does help us through this process when we can't physically do it right that second. And then the last thing that we did is we actually created a visual pipeline for her to actually show her where people were inside of the funnel. So we can go from where they're at in a new lead to how many times they've been called or reached out to, just showing her in a couple of different pipelines what that actual setup looked like and where everybody was. So for a visual reference for you guys, this is what we did. We set up a basic book a call funnel, right? I would say probably 95% of service businesses out there, they have some sort of book a call funnel. Some are done better than others, but for the most part, most of you guys need to get people on a call to have a consult to be able to put them into your services. So all we did is we ran an ad to a Facebook lead form, to a booking page, and that booking page is prompting an info call. That's it. This is not a sales call. This particular service business is a private school. So even before having them, the parents come out and check out, kind of do an open house, kind of a tour or something like that, we just need to still fully qualify the lead through. And that's the purpose of this info call. This info call was just the my client's opportunity to be able to speak to the parents, really gauge whether or not they were a fit. This is an alternative education model, so when we talk about private school, this is not what you would traditionally think about a private school. The children that attend this school, they have to meet kind of a certain criteria of the way that behavioral thing and different things like that really make them a great fit for this school. So the goal is to really get them on a short 5 to 10 minute call to then push them through the funnel, invite them out, and get them on a tour, right? This might be the same thing for anybody out there that is like, again, a roofer. You need to get somebody on the phone first before you can just say, hey, I need to come out to your property, right? Because if you don't need to be out at the property, then you don't need to waste your time, right? So you need to have a true, real virtual or phone consult before you kind of move through the funnel there, right? So, but you might be asking yourself, what about people who don't come through and kind of book themselves, right? Well, that's where we're going to talk about the kind of automation drip that kind of went out. So the first initial automation drip that comes out is a 4-day period. Okay, inside of that period, they are going to get hit daily with a text and an email. Okay, and inside those texts and inside those emails, we have other pieces of video content. So, for example, in hers, we have a video that I call a "Why Now" video. Right. So we send them a text and an email, knowing, hey, we know you checked us out. So here's why you need to take an action. Right. It's more of an extension of what we wanted to relay in the ad. But now that we have them in the ecosystem, we can spend a little bit more time with them inside of a video there. The next day that would come in, we'd have a testimonial video sent from one of the current parents there, right? And then after that, we would send them a school overview video. So this is an understanding of what the school is, what it's about, how their model works, like all of these different things, right? The benefits that people get out of going and attending the school. We wanted to send that. Every step of the way there that we did, so every step, every time we sent something of value for them, it was all in trying to get them still to just book that info call. That's all we were trying to do, right? And then the final part of this whole process was where my client, lacked the most in a lot of this was the organizational aspect of things, right? And I think a lot of our leads and a lot of our opportunities can slip through cracks when we're not organized in some sort of visual manner or some way that's easy to follow. So I drew out, because again, I wanted to protect the information from their prospects on this. So I drew out kind of what this looks like in the back end from what I help people set up. So this is an example of just one pipeline. And this pipeline is everything from new leads all the way down here to a book call, or maybe if they kind of ghosted us here, this is a sad area, but we do get ghosted. Not all leads are the best leads, right? And I understand that, and I think business owners understand that as well. But what we were able to do is we were able to automate this entire process all the while she's trying to follow up manually and get people on calls. This was working in the background when she wasn't physically able to sit at her desk and do that, right? So a lead would come in, the automation would text them and kind of prompt them to move on through the process. Then the next day happens, they get another text, another email, another text, another email, so on and so forth, all the way through that 4-day nurture. And then our last would tell us who's booked a call or who has kind of left us on red and who has ghosted us, right? And in setting this up, it's made it 10 times, maybe 100 times easier for her to track who's coming in, where people are at. She can actually visibly see everything. We also set up a secondary pipeline after this one. I didn't draw this one out, but I'll illustrate it for you. I even set up a secondary pipeline that goes from those that have booked a call all the way through the rest of her process. So for example, in her case, her process is after they've booked a call, I have to invite them out for a tour or an open house, right? After they come to that open house, we have to then send them an application to apply to go to the school, right? And then from there, they review the application and then they either accept or deny the candidate. That's her process, right? So we set up a secondary tier that has automation through that process as well, going from that booked call down to application sent or down to, new student acquired. Right. So we set up 2 pipelines for her so she could see where everything was going. And as different stages were met, different series of automations happened and different series of communications happened. And that has significantly helped her be able to do and book more without actually having to be so hands-on and involved. Now, going back to what I said earlier, and um, I still avidly understand this, and I wholeheartedly align my mindset with this as a business owner, is that you can't just solely rely on the automations to do things. You have to pick up the phone, you have to call your leads, right? Or you have to have somebody inside of your organization doing that all the time, because not everybody will interact with you in that way. Some people will just pick up the phone and you can make point of contact there. So I firmly believe that you still, no matter what, no matter the level of automation that you have inside of your business, you should still pick up the phone and call your leads that aren't converting. So that, in a nutshell, is what I did to be able to help this client out. And we're moving into the second phase of what we're doing with this client right now that we just launched. And I'm excited to see what's on the horizon for them as we build out more things for drip campaigns, more content, more testimonials, more things to bolster what is going on within that business. So I wanted to make this video again today to just show you guys what's possible out there for you service business owners that aren't really using video inside of your marketing and lead generation efforts, or maybe aren't using platforms like Meta, Facebook, or Instagram to be able to acquire new customers. It is possible, and it is something that once you unlock, I firmly believe that Meta is the number one place that you can actually grow, just due to the what's available there, and at what cost it's available, right? So if you're somebody that got this far in this video and you want to learn more on exactly how I do it, you can find in the description below my link back to my Instagram, and then you can DM me the word "go" over there on Instagram, and I will then reach out and let you know maybe what it might look like for us to continue a conversation around exactly how I help people here in the Houston, Texas area. So that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure that you like and subscribe and follow me here on YouTube. Share this with somebody that is maybe in the Houston area that is kind of struggling, maybe not using video inside of their business at all, or just needs a little bit of help with their lead generation. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.